Wow, that's boring. I've had more fun with sand at the beach. I think it's impossible for anyone who hasn't read the Dune books to follow what's going on in this story, which is needlessly complicated. And then there is a whole layer of ugliness throughout the picture. A guy with boils all over his face, the ripping open of people's chests, a premature birth of a baby in blood. Why all of that garbage? Dune is an unintelligible gross out.
Unbelievable. Maybe people should just watch our show, right? We haven't made a mistake since you like falling in love.
Siskel and Ebert dismissed Dune as overly ambitious, but it later became the foundation for a multi-million-dollar franchise and earned an Oscar nomination. Even the greatest critics occasionally miss the mark. Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert criticized films that went on to become cultural icons, box office successes, or beloved classics. Let's see what else they fumbled.
Now on to Godzilla, which plays like they took apart 6 other monster movies, threw out the good parts, and then tried to reassemble what was left in the dark. Anyone who has seen many giant creature movies will recognize all the obligatory stops along the way, like the ominous early warnings, the destruction of famous landmarks, and the monster who makes a comeback after you think it's dead. The monster is never dead the first time around in these movies. I didn't even mind the formula. I just wish it had been done better.
Despite its massive $380 million worldwide gross and 10 awards, the critics were far from kind to the 1998 blockbuster Godzilla.
Jumanji is an ambitious mess.
I totally agree with you. I'll tell you, I think this movie would frighten younger kids, terrify them. There is nothing to leaven the fact that one thing after another happens. Giant insects, the tigers, the rhinos, the...
okay, but is it a good movie? And forget the scary.
No,
it's
what
not
I'm
at all.
trying to say is it's not a good movie because nothing is done except this stuff just jumps out of the screen at the kids over and over again and at the kids in the audience.
And here's a comment that applies to a lot of American movies and their technology. Because you can do special effects, that doesn't mean you have to do them wall to wall.
They have to be at the service of the story.
You got it.
Initially doubted by Siskel and Ebert, Jumanji earned $260 million and evolved into a billion-dollar franchise, proving its staying power.
It's a great movie to look at, but a hard one to care about. I didn't appreciate the predictable story, the standard characters, the cliffhanging cliches, but I do think the special effects make Blade Runner worth going to see.
I agree with part of your review. Predictable, cliches.
What about the special effects?
Dazzling for the first 20 minutes, and then what? I mean, this story goes no place as far as I'm concerned. I invested a lot of energy in this movie watching it because it was so striking looking. And Harrison Ford is an attractive actor, and he does take us through any adventure that he's in. But I'm sitting there halfway through the picture saying, where is this going? And when it's over, I think I've wasted my time.
Called slow and confusing at the time, Blade Runner is now hailed as a sci-fi masterpiece with 2 Oscar nominations.
But in Beetlejuice, it's just too much of a not very good thing. I really felt the Michael Keaton character detracted from a rather nice couple played by Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin. And so the very thing that I thought I would enjoy the most, the Ghostbuster, if you will, was the thing that I enjoyed the least.
You know, I'm with you on this one. And frankly, I walked into this movie knowing nothing about it. I didn't know it was going to be a Ghostbusters clone. And Beetlejuice is absolutely... I mean, you use the word obnoxious.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's not funny. It's just, there's that guy again. Let's get rid of him. Which is not what I expect to think about Michael Keaton.
No, if this were a comedy act, which is really what it is for about 40 minutes, you would walk out after 10 and say, who needs this? It's not funny.
Siskel and Ebert didn't see the magic, but Beetlejuice won over audiences, grossing $450 million and earning critical praise.
This plot is so old-fashioned and so hackneyed and so recycled out of 100 other fairy tales and other movies that I was waiting to see what kind of twist or spin Eddie Murphy was going to put on it, and there isn't any. And the second thing is, the energy level of the movie is so low. This is the first Eddie Murphy movie I've ever seen that can accurately be described as lethargic. You talk about how he's sweet and laid back.
Yes.
I think he's way too laid back. I wanted to see Eddie Murphy take this prince and not play him so straight and so sweet, but give him a little bit of an edge.
Despite their critiques, Coming to America became a global hit, earning $280 million and 2 Oscar nominations.
It's not just not brilliant, it's the idiot plot, what I've always talked about, where one word from any one of 3 different people in this movie could have collapsed the entire plot,
Except
because
that
then the father wouldn't have thought
I know
that,
that.
and then everything would have been different, and so they all have to be very careful
But
not
Roger,
to say that one word.
In most movies that have idiot plots, you do not have performances this good. I think you'll agree with that, right? And I think the other thing is that you will not see a character grow up. And I'm telling you that this young actress is given a good...
She doesn't grow up. She just moves right along according to the requirements of this
No,
pre-canned
she
plot.
she comes to that camp naive, and she grows up at the end of the
And
film.
that's
I
a
like it.
cliche, Gene. That's a cliche.
Dirty Dancing went on to win an Oscar and became one of the highest-grossing films of 1987, with $170 million worldwide.
That scene didn't thrill me, and I live in Chicago. This picture, which is attributed to Chicago, which is also writer-director John Hughes' hometown, is not as fresh or as funny or as energetic as another Chicago tribute movie, The Blues Brothers. And frankly, that's because Ferris Bueller doesn't do anything much fun. The fancy restaurant scene is a weak imitation of the one in Beverly Hills Cop. The way Ferris fools his principal in ditching school is ridiculous low comedy. Nothing special happens when the kids go to a ball game and they don't even sit in the bleachers where all the kids love to sit when they go to Cubs games. How bad is this film? The most interesting characters are developed right at the end of this picture. A little romance develops between Ferris's mean sister, Jennifer Grey, who's kind of cute, and a troublemaking kid played by Charlie Sheen.
Brushed off by the critics, this John Hughes classic earned $70 million and became a defining teen comedy of its era.
There are too many scenes of behavior and no scenes of insight. And as the guys assemble back at the warehouse, there's too much talk from characters who should really be unconscious or mad with pain instead of giving us all that dialogue. I liked the movie as far as it went. I wanted it to go further and try more.
I had the same reaction, Roger. I thought it was a lot of an exercise in style, but then I got that really quick. I mean, I understand what he's trying to do here, which is to show things in crime movies that crime movies don't show. For example, the sloppiness, the humor. But we get that within 15 minutes, and then the movie doesn't have anything more to say.
Tarantino's debut didn't initially wow them, but it's now regarded as a groundbreaking film in modern cinema.
Now, this is a very big film that tries to say a lot of conventional things about the war, about the arrogance of our war effort. That part of the film is very colorful, impressive, sometimes even memorable. But Apocalypse Now is also after a much bigger target, nothing less, I think, than a speculation on the nature and source of good and evil in the world, how the war came about. On that score, I think it fails completely. The Brando character, who we wait for 2 hours to meet, has nothing to say, and we walk out of Apocalypse Now wondering, what's the big deal?
They doubted its impact, but this war epic claimed 2 Oscars and grossed over $100 million worldwide, solidifying its legendary status. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right here. Let's go. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, it's cool. You can go on and lie to me, cause I can see right through your lies. But baby, it's not fazing me, it's cool. Facts. I see them texts you sending me. You know you got them tendencies, and I can be your therapy, it's cool.